Notice is hereby given that the following public hearing will be held by the Bonneville County Board of Commissioners in the Bonneville County Courthouse, 605 North Capitol Avenue, Idaho Falls, Idaho, on this date, Wednesday, June 11th, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. The rezone request is by RBH Idaho LLC for a rezone from Residence R2 to the Neighborhood Shopping Center at SC-1 zone. General location is located south of Cylindria Street on the east side of Ammon Road and south side of Lincoln Road in Bonneville County, Idaho. And this zone or this notice was published Tuesday, May 27th, 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner. There's no objection. All the minutes and records from the planning and zoning hearing related to this will be included in that were included in the commission package, be part of this record, this hearing. Michelle.
Thank you. Then Michelle Hagan with Bonneville County. So this is an applicant. The applicant is RBH Idaho LLC. It's the application to rezone from R2 to SC1 zone. The property is on the south side of Cylindria and east of Ammon Road. And the subject property is approximately 5.08 acres. It has a commercial land use designation. The adjacent land uses are commercial and urban residential. The subject property is zoned R2 and the adjacent zoned properties are R2 and SC1. The comprehensive plan has the compatibility decisions that should be considered in all map amendments. And there are currently utilities within the county jurisdiction in this area. The property is located within the area of impact with the city of Ammon. We did receive a letter from Micah Austin with the city of Ammon regarding this application, which is labeled Commissioner Exhibit 1 in your hearing packet. Planning staff recommended approval of the request. Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on April 23rd, 2025, and recommended approval with the following conditions. So 1, landscaping along arterial buffers, 2, comply with requirements from Public Works, and 3, buffering requirements between commercial and residential zones. The finding of fact with the Planning and Zoning Commission has been provided for your information in the hearing packet. Do you have questions on this?
So it looks like to me that the letter from the city of Ammon asking for no further development came in after the hearing, is that correct?
Correct. They submitted that after Planning and Zoning Commission. Because Planning and Zoning Commission noted specifically that Ammon has provided no opposition, and so they were fine to move forward. Also, I'd like to note that on the subdivision plat that was previously done and developed, there is the note that the property may, that they recognize that they will annex into the city of Ammon when appropriate time.
No, just that note is on the plat and city of Ammon has an agreement with McDonald's to be able to annex. And they're aware that they could go annex the properties at any time if they wanted them. They would just have to do forced annexation. And I should also note, I guess, the reason that where McDonald's is in that first division wasn't annexed to begin with is because it was all an original SC1 zone, which had existed in the county since the early 1970s or even a little before. So the developer had the right to plat and do those uses without even requesting a rezone. All they did is submit a subdivision plat and start working through the development process.
in history. Something over here was making funny making noises. It's there now.
Okay.
Smells smoke.
Would you remind me of the difference between SC1 and the C1 zoning designation?
SC1 is a neighborhood shopping center zone, so it just allows for lighter type commercial uses. The C1 designation just steps you up a little bit. So it includes all the uses in SC1, but has some additional like 20 uses that are also allowed. But the C1 in nature is lighter commercial uses also. You really don't get to heavy until you're C2.
Thank you. That's what I thought.
It's designed to allow those uses that will serve the immediate residential area.
Any more questions, John? Are you ready for the applicant?
No, but was just making sure, yes,
Do I just sit here? Do I need
You
to stand? Okay,
or you know,
yeah, I'll give my name and address. So it's Travis Payne, 2295 North Yellowstone Highway, Suite 6. So I'm here representing Riverbend Management with the application. So we weren't aware of the city's letter or the contents directly of that letter, but I can speak to it briefly. We had a conversation with the city when we did the land use map amendment, changing this designation to commercial. And they specifically said that they had no problems with this land use. What they want was for the opportunity for annexation. And with the plat, we did provide that opportunity for annexation when the city decides that it's their opportunity to annex. I don't know the exact contents, but I can't read it right now.
I know, but there you go for the.
I'm not that fast at reading. But the designation changing from R2 to SC1 is not something that the city is against, nor any of the surrounding neighborhood. We actually held a neighborhood meeting, or the owner conducted some interviews with the neighborhood, and they preferred this to be an SC1 as opposed to what it's currently zoned, which is R2, and developed as some sort of multifamily or single family residential. They much prefer a commercial use, as it would not increase traffic at times that they would be driving around. So as far as the public's concerned, they are very excited about this opportunity. It also homogenizes the full development because a major portion of it is already zoned SC1. So allowing this to also go SC1 would make it similar throughout the entire development. So we think that it's probably the best to minimize the impact of the surrounding area, as well as allow for the proper development with that land. So.
okay, thank you.
And it wasn't clear to me, did planning and zoning approve or say that it complied with everything?
Yes, we did. It made sense to them.
I would also like to point out the Austin again, that I've talked with Micah Austin, the city administrator, specifically about this application, and shared with him my concerns that if the county did not change the zone to the commercial, which the developer desires, and the developer decided they did not want to annex the property, that they already have an existing R2 zone, which allows for a fourplex per 9,000 square feet of all of that property that's shown in this application. And that the county would much rather have the commercial use than they would the additional doors out in that area, which will present a problem for us. to be able to service for roads, police, fire, so I have had that conversation with the city of Hammond also, and they were understanding of that as well, so.
Thank you.
Okay, Austin, we'll open the public input. Anybody online? Anybody here wish to comment or? It's your opportunity.
The second row's the Herberts there for the next hearing.
Okay.
so.
Well, in that case, any other comments from the applicant?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I guess the only thing that,
Questions?
sorry, the only thing I'd add,
You
Blake
give us
Jolly,
your name and
Blake
address.
Jolly with Connect Engineering, 2295 North Hillside Highway Suite 6. After reading the letter a little bit, it talks about municipal, that the city of Hammond would be able to provide municipal services there, just to make sure that the commission's aware that that area is served by Falls Water and Island Water Sewer District. So those two utilities would not be being provided by the city of Hammond.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Right, well, we will with that, take under advisement and you issue our hearing or decision at a later date, usually within a couple of weeks. Michelle or Austin, their staff will be with us individually, but not collectively to answer our questions. Discuss any further issues with us. That decision generally takes place as part of our regular road and bridge meetings, which are on Tuesdays current or Wednesdays currently, but will start to be on Tuesdays after the 1st of July. So you don't miss the date change, it doesn't make the next one and go to July, it's on Tuesday now. That goes there.